Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, voice of hardcore boxing. I think we'll put this on members area. My dog barking again. I don't really know what to make of Bricktop's interview. I think he's on back foot. I think that he's right in that Tyson Fury does what he wants, fights what he wants, and will say who he wants to fight, where he wants to fight, and when. Very interesting to hear, though, Frank Warren say it's up to the fighter and, you know, Tyson's in charge and blah, blah, blah. I've never ever heard that from Frank Warren before. I never heard him say it when he had Ricky Hatton, when he had Calzaghe, even when he had Naz. I never heard him come out with anything like that. And I just think that Frank coming out with that, is him on back foot. I think he's on back foot. I think that him coming out with the fact that Dylan White's a free agent and that, and they're gonna send him an offer. Why don't you just go try and sign Dylan White, Frank? Why is everybody tiptoeing around the fighters? Is it because the fighters have got a bit of power now and the promoters are on back foot? Maybe, but Frank should be making offers to Dylan White. If he's his own manager, make him an offer. You know, loyalty can be tested with offers. Make him an offer. If Dylan White wants to leave Eddie Hearn and he's always bitching about it, he'll leave for the right money. Look, if you offered Dylan White £1 billion, he'd leave Eddie Hearn. So don't say it's about money and it's about loyalty. It's about money. It's about money. It always has been. But I just think personally that Frank Warren's not the force he used to be. That's just my opinion. I think he's already come out in that interview with IFL Umar and said, if DAZN come in and the buying platforms on BT Sport, I've got a concrete contract and there will be action taken and all that. Look, if you looked at Frank Warren the wrong way, he'd take legal action. So that doesn't really mean anything. But I'd be very, very surprised if we don't see lawyers' letters sent off in next 3 or 4 months. I'd be very surprised if that didn't happen. Very surprised. Because Frank loves legal action, don't you, Frankie? And quite rightly so. Quite rightly so. You've got to tie people down because there's too many charlatans and vagabonds in boxing who are trying to shaft people. That's how I look at it anyway. That's how I look at it. But we're going to see what happens moving forward. And I just won't put it past a few people doing their own thing and ending up in court. I think that down the line, we could see Tyson and Frank in court. It's an unsteady time at the moment, boxing, especially for Warren and Hearn, because Warren doesn't know what's going to happen, does he, with BT Sport and DAZN? And Hearn doesn't know what's going to happen, and he don't like legal action. And maybe their egos have got that big that they might end up having to do battle in court. I don't know. But is it detracting away from the fights? Yeah, of course it is. Of course it's detracting away from the fights. You know, we want to see fights, don't we, happen? We want to see Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua at least twice. We want to see Tyson Fury against Dylan White at least once. We don't want to see Chisora Parker again. We don't want to see Chisora Fury. I'd like to see Yui Fury against Chisora. I think that's a good fight, but Yui's with Sky now, isn't he? So that might not happen, but there's plenty of fights out there that are mouth-watering and that I'd like to see, but I think the book's still got to stop with Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren. They've played a major part in British boxing going downhill at the moment, I think. That's just my opinion. I don't think it's as strong as it were in 2017, British boxing. I think we're on back foot. Eddie Hearn's not got no big stars. I noticed Frank Warren's made an £500,000 offer to Conor Benn to fight David Evanesian. That's a good offer for Conor Benn. Why don't you want to take that fight against a European champion? He's calling out these Americans that are shot to death who've been world champions, but he don't want to fight David Evanesian, who's a former world champion and a current European champion. And it's a great fight. Why would you not want to fight him? He's just beat Josh Kelly, who Conor Benn's been associated with for the last 3 years. You know, they were going to fight. They weren't going to. They were going to. They weren't going to. So why not beat the man that beat Josh Kelly? Or go fight Josh Kelly, then fight David Evanesian. But they can't keep ducking people with Conor Benn because it's going to be like Joshua. It's going to be overkill. Joshua's been going to fight Wilder and Fury for God knows how long. We're nowhere near them. Nowhere near. Why is that? Why is that? I don't know. Because the people that are backing the fighters, they just don't think that these guys can win, and they want to keep the money rolling in and keep abusing the fans. They want to. It's like what they're doing with Joshua Fury, what they did to us with Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. It was overkill. And what they've did to us, or what they are doing to us with Khan Brook. Nobody mentions that now because it went on too long, didn't it? They got too greedy, hoovering up other money against other fighters, that when it came down to people actually being bothered about Brook Khan, they were all bored, weren't they? Nobody wanted it. That's what happened with Fury Joshua, and they think it'll always be there, but I don't think it will be. Fury's 34 next birthday. You know, it's not good, is it? Joshua's 33 on his next birthday. They're getting old. Dylan White's coming up 36, isn't he? Chisora's already past that, isn't he? And David Price. I mean, I don't know what we're going to be left with. Alan Babick. God. Lawrence Okoli. Well, Lawrence Okoli is an Eddie fighter, isn't he? We want to see the big fights, and they're not happening, in my opinion, because of the promoters. The promoters, if fighters want to fight, they'll make it happen. They'll share pay-per-view, or they'll do a 2-fight deal, and one goes on one channel, one goes on other, or they'll just split it, the revenue. So the promoters have got to take the blame, in my opinion, and quite rightly so. But Conor Benn, David Evanesian's a great fight. Tommy Fury against Jake Paul. I don't care for that fight. Tyson Fury, Dylan White. Yeah, I'd like to see that fight, but you know, you've got two guys there that can mess you about at the drop of a hat. Dylan White can pull out whenever he wants, and Tyson could go walkabout, couldn't he, another 20 months. So the ring, I won't put your hat on that. Won't put your hat on it. I won't put your hat on Tommy Fury, Jake Paul happening next month. There's that much rubbish surrounding some of these fights. It's shocking. I mean, is that how bad boxing's got that people, according to Frank Warren, are getting excited about Jake Paul and Tommy Fury? When really we should be having fights with all these light heavyweights we've got in country. And these welterweights, couldn't there be a tournament for these welterweights? You know, Conor Benn Chris Jenkins, McKinson, and David Evanesian, all the rest of them welterweights in country, Chris Conger. You could get a group of welterweights in country, and you could get a group of light heavyweights. None of them have got a world title, and you could put them all in mix, couldn't you? Even Kell Brook. You could put them all in mix and have a winner takes all. Even Callum Smith in light heavyweights. Why can't we do that? Everybody would be testing themselves against the best, wouldn't they? Why? Why do we have to come with a begging bowl to these promoters and TV companies? And why are these YouTubers not asking these people? Why are they not asking them? Why not? Why not? Why are they not asking these people why these fights are not happening? Why? Natasha Jonas has just signed with Sky, so that means that Natasha against Terry Harper's not going to happen now, isn't it? Because Terry Harper's with his own, isn't she? I think that's a shame, because I was looking forward to that rematch. There's always a problem if it's not the promoters, it's the TV people or the managers or the trainer putting spoken. Let's let the fighters say they want to fight. Let's let these YouTubers and media people interview the fighters and say, who do you want next? Because all they say, well, I'll fight anybody. Well, they're not doing that, either. They're not fighting anybody because there's always problems, isn't there? So I don't want to be negative, but just what's going on at the moment, isn't it? If you say anything, you're a hater, Porky, you're a hater. Not an hater, I just want to see great fights. That's all I want to see. Great fights. Now, another 25 days in this prison. How long have I got now? 25. I've got about 6 weeks on my scan. Jesus. It'll be a long time in here, aren't I? But I just want to see great fights. I don't want to see Frank Warren suing people, Eddie Hearn and that and blah, blah, blah. Why can't they just share BT Sport? Just share it and get the fights on. I mean, I mentioned it in enough videos. I mean, why 18, 19 months ago, they were going to go for lunch, weren't they, and sort it all out. What have they done? They've done no. They've paid fans lip service, haven't they? That's it. Why aren't Coogan, Cassius, or any of them other YouTubers saying, Eddie, come on, you and Frank, we're going to have a meeting February 2020. What's happening? We're 2021 November. We're coming up for nearly 2 years and you've still not put a fight on. What's going on? I don't think it's a lot to ask. We just want to see great fights. Frank seems to be more bothered about getting DeBar into position with WBA and Joyce with WBO and parking him up for mandatories, but that's going to take forever. I mean, what's happening with Joe Joyce's career? Hey, he's the forgotten man, isn't he, Joe Joyce? What's happening with his career? Why ain't Dylan White saying he'll fight Joyce? So I look at it, but it is what it isn't. So just a quick video on members for you. Hope you're all well. I'm back at hospital tomorrow to see a wound specialist. So get this wound I looked at. Everything's too big for me now, isn't it? Oh. How it's fitting me. I'm ready for a new wardrobe. So, all right then. So, peace out. Keep on trucking. Keep sporting boxing. Carl Wright. Send me a number, Carl. If you don't mind, lads. Can't find it anywhere. Porkycorner@mail.com, Carl. If you send it to me, email. All right, pal. I think that's about it. Peace out.